Goku's instant transmission is an iconic ability in anime and fiction in general. But what if I told you it's theoretically possible? That's right, we may not be able to do it today or really anytime even in the near future, but it's based on real existing science, and someday with the right resources, we may be able to pull it off. But before we get into how we might be able to pull this off, we need to clarify exactly what instant transmission is. To keep things simple, instant transmission is really nothing more than teleportation that just requires a specific signature as a marker. In Goku's specific case, he's able to sense the ki of other individuals, lock onto that and focus on it as his teleportation signature, and transport directly to them. Now, an important distinction is this is not fast movement like we see in Dragon Ball fights all the time, where they're blinking in and out of visibility because of how fast they're moving. This is quite literally instant transmission. We know this for a fact because on multiple occasions he uses it to teleport between different realms, like when he goes to King Kai's planet in the Other World, which is a parallel dimension to the real world of Earth that Goku lives in. And typically you can't get to Otherworld without dying. Now let's talk about what teleportation is, because it's not really as simple as it looks at face value. Teleportation comes in two distinctly recognized forms. The first form is you break your atoms down and instantly reassemble them at the location. This is known as atomic reassembly teleportation. However, this is not the method that we're going to be looking into today as a plausible way that Goku is doing instant transmission. We're going to be using the second option, which is Einstein's Rosen bridge, or wormholes, if you will. A wormhole is like a tunnel that connects 2 points in space. Let's call them A and B. But what it does differently is instead of this distance that you and I can see here, a wormhole drastically shortens the distance or space-time between these points rather than having to travel in a straight line. Let's use a sheet of paper so we can understand a little bit better. If I take this sheet of paper with point A and B, in traditional methods of travel, the shortest and absolute fastest way to get from one to the other would be straight line distance between the two. But wormholes change the rules a little bit. A wormhole folds space-time and creates a new connection point between A and B like this. And now, even though the distance between the two is significantly shorter, you can still travel from A to B without having to use the traditional method, and in some cases, it can be instantaneous, where the gate at A is instantly arriving at B. Essentially, these are galactic shortcuts, but the question is, if these are theoretically possible, why haven't we done them yet for ourselves? Great question. The answer to this question is power. To create a wormhole that connects 2 points in space and sustain it for any period of time would require an absolutely massive amount of power. So much power, in fact, even if all of mankind combined their resources, we couldn't even come close to enough power to create a wormhole, let enough power to sustain it and actually be able to use it for any kind of transportation. For example, some scientists believe that this would actually require more power than is present in an entire star. So, even if we did manage to create one and sustain it and use it for travel, it would be so expensive that it would be reserved for only the most important people and things to be transported through, and almost no regular people would ever have access to it. Not only that, but it's also theorized that we need power coming from something called exotic matter. This is related to the negative energy density that's required to sustain a wormhole. So how is it if Goku's opening a wormhole that he's even able to use it? It's because he has exotic matter and power that stems from that, and it's called ki. Goku's Saiyan physiology and lifelong training have led to him having such a high level of ki pool in his body that he's able to destroy entire planets with just one attack. Heck, he even almost destroyed planet Earth just powering up to Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu saga of Dragon Ball Z. So, with all this information at hand, this is how Goku's instant transmission works. Goku senses an energy signature from someone or their ki, and they become his destination, or point B while he remains point A. Next step is to open a wormhole. He then uses the mysterious instant transmission technique to open a wormhole between himself, point A, and the destination, point B, and instantly be able to transport both himself and anything he's in contact with to the destination in a matter of seconds. And how far they are in real space doesn't change this fact because the wormhole that's open is almost always going to be about the same distance regardless of how far A and B actually are from each other. So he can travel across planets or across the galaxy in the exact same amount of time. So Goku's instant transmission isn't just fiction, it's science. And with that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.